Hello there, my very good friends, and a warm welcome and good afternoons to you. On this video, we're going to talk about that Giovanni Vinci burial.
Swerve and Hangman are big draws for AEW.
Plastic bag!
Nigel McGuinness reveals how much he's got left in the tank. I'm Adam Wilborn.
I'm Andy Murray.
And this is the After News.
Okay, let's talk about the member of the Great Bald community, Giovanni Vinci. He didn't have a good night on SmackDown, did he?
Yeah, what the hell was this?
What was going on there? So they had, not the most hyped debut in the universe, return in the universe, but they did play it up a little bit during the show.
Some vignettes and stuff in the weeks building up to it.
Indeed. And then he was kicked out of Imperium a few months ago, and he's coming back. He's on SmackDown now. Good, he's a good wrestler. Let's get him back on. Comes down the ring. You think maybe they're going to go back to the old NXT gimmick with the photo shoot and the style stuff. They didn't do that. He just came down, but walking down the ring.
Nice tracksuit.
Good tracksuit. Really good choice. He spent a bit of time kind of like mugging out for the camera, like posing and looking cool and bald and awesome. And then the bell rang and he lost in 3 seconds. Apollo Crews rolled him up in 3 seconds.
Whilst he was taking his jacket off, basically.
It was like, wee! 1, 2, 3, you've lost. Vinci was obviously indignant after this, and he wasn't the only one. Because according to Wrestle Votes, they're
international outlet.
Was that like Spanish or something? I don't know. Terrible accent either way. Wrestle Votes tweeted saying, I'm told there are a few key figures within WWE Creative that absolutely hated the direction of the Giovanni Vinci angle tonight. So it's been a long time since we've had anything like this, really. We have this conversation quite often where it's like the age of genuinely terrible booking is largely gone, right? It's very rare that you get an outright burial. It's very, very rare that you get something like Bobby Lashley's sisters or remember that Bayley-Alexa Bliss kendo stick match?
I try not to.
Yeah, it was just a one-sided hammering. You don't really get that anymore because Triple H understands what his audience wants from the product really well. And Vince is gone is the main reason.
Exactly.
Let's be honest about all of this. But yeah, I thought it was a really crap move. Sometimes you subvert a debut, but this didn't feel right.
No, exactly. It was the first thing we talked about after All Out. It was the first thing we talked about in the office this morning. I'm so confused by this because, like you say, it stinks of when Vince used to be in charge and be like, why have you promoted this person if you knew you were immediately going to bury them? Or a little bit, remember there was that crossover and it was like, Vince really likes this person, but the new regime, not so much. They're going to try and kill him as fast as possible. It was so reminiscent of the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing, which we used to sometimes get in WWE, where it'd be like, this person's coming and they suck. But it's not that Giovanni Vinci sucks. Obviously, he's great. It was just a really weird creative decision. I do argue that WWE have earned let it play out privileges for the most part, but this just seems, I don't see what good comes from this. How this benefits his character. You can arguably have him lose his opening match, but at least have him showcase what he can do, not just be thick and be taking his jacket off after the bell rings. Like, I get it, he's a posing twat and that's come back to haunt him, but 3 seconds?
Yeah, definitely.
It feels like they've immediately put him in a hole he has to get his way out of.
Yeah, it's really, it kind of reminds me a bit of, not just because he's bald, but Dan Mappa's debut in NXT 10 years ago or thereabouts, where they built him up for weeks and weeks and weeks. It was like, he's Dan Mappa, look at his muscles, he tall, he bald, he gonna win. And then he came down the ring and Samoa Joe just beat his ass and he was never seen again.
Samoa Joe, great.
Yeah, so that was, and then I think of other debuts where people jobbed out. Remember Anna Jay in AEW where they built her up a little bit, the star of the show with a hat and all this, and then she just got destroyed by Abaddon.
But that was good because it promoted someone like Abaddon. Like, Apollo Crews didn't get anything out of this either.
And the thing was, it fed into Anna Jay's story, which was she's absorbed into the Dark Order who prey on people's insecurities because they were a cult. So that worked, and maybe they will come up with something good out of this. But at the same time, in the moment, this was not good.
Yeah, it just felt so out of place, especially on that episode of SmackDown as like a, end of... I mean, it's so funny they did that, like, well, what a 5 years it's been on Fox. Let's look back at some of our best moments. And I was like, whoa, boy, a lot of those from the last couple of years, aren't they?
Yes,
like The Rock and Becky Lynch were on the first episode of SmackDown. Then it sucked for a while. Then Sami Zayn and the Bloodline kind of saved it. And then Triple H took over and it got good.
Yeah.
But this was just so weird. Let us know your thoughts on it in the comments section below.
Yeah, I'll miss the WWE on Fox social media accounts. Remember that time they buried Brad Shepard? That was fun. Anyway.
I'll miss the little robot. Hey, check this out. But hey, it's what is it, USA week now, because they're all going to be going out on USA, Raw, SmackDown, and of course NXT.
Has USA got a robot?
Probably, I hope so.
Me too.
Hasn't USA got one that flies in, or is that the SmackDown one? I can never remember.
That's the robot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got the robot.
That was celebrating when they used to get the draft. Yeah, come on!
You could have the Smack Droid. There you go. Robot, Smack Droid. Good.
Of course, they're going to be on Netflix in... Well, not SmackDown. I always get confused by this. SmackDown's is going to be on USA for quite a few years. In America... But everything in here, in the UK...
only on till the end of the year?
No, I think it's a longer term one.
Oh, okay.
I get so confused
My
by it
brain's
all.
broken.
We all get it on Netflix. That's all that matters here in the UK.
Yeah.
But switching gears to AEW, Swerve and Hangman Page quite rightly earning lots of praise, not just for their horrific match at All Out, not in terms of match quality, just a hard watch.
In a good way.
But from Wrestling Observer, there's some good noises coming out from backstage about how they are big draws for the company, because obviously it's been such a quick turnaround, not as quick as last year, but a quick turnaround, 2 weeks between All In and All Out. We don't get numbers until Thursday.
Yeah.
To sort of be able to properly gauge this. But by all accounts, if All Out and the build to All Out has done well, people are saying basically that is down to Hangman Page and Swerve, which makes a lot of sense. Yes, it was something that was just restarted in the midst of the fallout from All In, but obviously we talked about it before about the history that you have there. It was just picking it up from where they left off, and obviously it was one of the main selling points of All Out. Yes, you had title matches and what have you, but the focus, the main event, was Hangman Page and Swerve Strickland trying to kill each other in a lights-out steel cage match. And by all accounts from the Observer, the credit will have to go to them, understandably, if this is done as well as they hope it has.
Seems like they shifted a lot of tickets last minute. Because,
yes.
What's the event's gentleman's name? Kosha? Irby,
yes, that sounds about right.
He posted a photo where, like, a panorama of the arena, and it was full. It was full. Whereas in the build-up to it, the wrestle ticks and stuff was like, hey, they've sold like 6,500.
Yeah, it was worrying, wasn't it?
So they've obviously like sold like 2,500 or thereabout tickets like quite late. Perhaps on the back of this burning down the house angle.
Yes.
That's good. And if the pay-per-view has ended up doing a higher buy rate than last year, that's obviously good as well, because that's a year-over-year increase.
Yeah.
So, look, AEW's attendances have not been very, very flattering for the company, to say the very least, at various points over the past couple of years. And sometimes the same can be said for the pay-per-view buys and other metrics as well. But at the end of the day, the key takeaway from all of this is that the company is doing absolutely fine. They're going to get a nice new TV deal from Warner that's going to push them into profit-making status. They are top, 5 on TV every single week, pretty much. That's good. They're going to be fine.
What was it Tony Khan said in the press conference? They're 90% done on the TV deal.
It's 100% real and it's 90% done or something like that. I love Tony,
just tell me when you're going to tell me. I'm so tired of talking about it.
I know. It'll come out eventually, and I think a lot of people will probably have to backtrack some silly statements they've made.
No, just move the goalposts, it's fine.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. They'll say it's worth 90 million a year, they'll be like, oh, why not 100? If it's worth 200, they'll be like, why not 5? Yeah. They'll just, you can't win. It's best not to argue with it. AEW is doing absolutely fine, and it will continue to be absolutely fine.
Yes.
So you're good. You're solid.
Get well soon to both Hangman Page and Swerve, because you said it's probably took quite a lot out of them.
I mean, it was a horror movie in wrestling form.
I saw a great tweet afterwards with because the closing shot of All Out was just just Hangman Page. Someone posted it before with Adam Page in a classroom, and then that, and he was like, "This is what happens when you don't pay teachers."
Great stuff across the board. If you want more chat on All Out, I'm going to do a video later on, 7:45 p.m, the evening slot. So look out for that later on.
And check out this morning's news video, which we'll link to at the end of this.
Hey, and 2 p.m. today, gaming quiz. We took on the gamers.
Oh yeah.
Did we win? Did we lose? It's on the channel right now. Check out. It's probably one of the stupidest, funniest videos we've ever done.
It was a lot of fun. Shout out to Sai for doing all that. And me and Sid are going to review All Out. In fact, that might be out right now. Go and check it out on the What Culture Wrestling podcast channel.
Follow us on Twitter. Adam Wilborn, Andy H. Murray. The H stands for... Hey, it's Monday. Just plug it.
It stands for hey. Well, what's the deal with that plastic bag? That's what it stands for.
Well, let me tell you about this plastic bag. Probably not a fun experience having your head put in a plastic bag, but that happened to Bryan Danielson during the Pape.
Do you ever feel like a plastic bag around your head?
Always. Well, there's a bit of an update on this spot. Fightful actually reported after the show that the smothering spot has been pitched and shot down numerous times.
I want to know who this person. Well, I think we're going to get a clue in a second.
I think we are. Yeah. Because one Edward Kingston posted a thing on Instagram suggesting that it might have been him. He's got a little cartoon of him pitching a bag, some oil and a chair to Tony Khan. Tony Khan saying no, and then Eddie sitting on his couch in a grump because it actually happened.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah, so there you go. Pitched and rejected multiple times. Yeah, so... It's not the first time the bag's ever been used in pro wrestling. Shout out to Terry Funk, the GOAT.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's not the first time it's ever been used. And it's also not the kind of spot you want to do often.
No.
Right? You maybe do this once every 20 years or something because it's so harrowing and so shocking that it should stand on its own. This should be a thing where 10 years from now, someone who's on the news video or making a list goes, hey, remember that time AEW did a plastic bag smothering? And it should stand as a singular thing. And
you need workers like Danielson and Mox to be able to pull it off safely.
Yeah, exactly. That's that kind of sums it up. But yeah, it's been pitched and rejected several times before.
I like the idea that Kingston's there every match. So what do you think for the finish? Smother in a plastic bag? No, you can't do that. It's just a normal term. Okay. What about next week? Smother in a plastic bag? No.
Yeah. Set him on fire?
Yeah. Yeah, Kingston's had enough wild spots, I think, to be fair to him. That burned into your brain image of him being like, well, we'll just set everyone on fire.
Yeah.
And coming down to with a petrol can that looked like it was a GTA loading screen, basically. I mean, I think it took everyone by surprise, the swerve of the attack, let alone the way it went down. But we talked a little bit about it on the morning news video. My word, did not see that one coming.
No,
Love the way they did it as well. Love the way they presented it all.
Wheeler Utah having a cry. That was good.
Obviously, don't put plastic bags on your head. Do we really need to say that?
Yeah, don't do that at home, ever. Like,
these are trained professionals and it was an angle.
Yeah.
I don't know if we need to say that, but yeah. Mox is a twat, isn't he?
He's a dirty bugger. He looked ripped in that t-shirt as well. I mean, you can see the t-shirts are getting one size smaller every week because he's like, I look real jacked, baby. But yeah.
Always a alarm bells go off when someone comes down in a white t-shirt. I'm like, there's going to be blood over that soon.
Yeah, here it comes, brother.
I like the fact. Also, if it was my promotion, I definitely would have forgotten, and then I'd have been like, "Has anyone got a bag for life?" Ironically, the opposite. Or he'd just have a Tesco sign smeared across his face as I'm doing it.
Instead, he just had to empty his sandwiches. And,
Maybe I wonder if that'll be a prize that they give away. You win the plastic bag that suffocated Bryan Danielson. Congratulations!
It's been signed by Jen Mexley.
And it's still got some of his spit on the inside. There you go.
Absolutely. So yeah, violence.
Good stuff.
We endorse it heavily.
Speaking of violent men, Nigel McGuinness.
Oh.
He love a bit of the violence, doesn't he?
He is.
And he hate a bit of Bryan Danielson, actually.
Yeah, I mean, if there's two things you can say about him.
Bryan, how was your weekend? Great, actually. Really good, thanks.
Fantastic.
But yeah, he obviously made his comeback at All In. We were lucky enough to be in attendance, and the roof just came off that place. That Casino Gauntlet was just awesome. I need to go back and watch that. It was so much fun. When I watched it immediately afterwards, I need to watch it again.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously he made his comeback as part of that Casino Gauntlet with all the wild pops and debuts, Ricochet, etc. in there. But on All Out 0 Hour, on the pre-show for All Out, he was asked about what's next for him. Would he be doing any more stuff? How much has he got left in the tank, basically? And he said, it's still at full, if I'm perfectly honest. I shot my shot. I didn't get my opportunity. But if another opportunity presents itself, I might take it. So good noises coming out of the McGuinness camp that this is not the last we've seen of him in a wrestling ring.
Yeah, I think they're going to do the Danielson match at some point.
Yeah.
They have to. They've just built it for years. Well, Nigel has by insulting the man constantly on commentary.
Brittle Brian, did he call him?
Yeah, itty bitty brittle. I've made that bit up. I don't know. I was very happy to see him come back in the match. I watched it on the Monday unspoiled, so I was like, oh my god, what? See the Oasis played, and I was like, nah, and then he came out and it was like, oh my god, huge pop. Nigel McGuinness had everything taken away from him in pro wrestling. Before, he had his WWE, the signing was agreed and all of that stuff, and then he was ill, and then he went to TNA and he had to retire, and this man was on the cusp of a true mainstream breakout and had it snatched away by fate. So to see him come back, even just to do the Casino Gauntlet, if that's all it ends, all we get from him, is absolutely incredible. My favorite thing about wrestling, one of my favorite things I should say, is when someone who, by all, for years you think is never going to work again, works again. Sting, Danielson, of course, when he came out of retirement and then feuded with Big Cass. It was weird.
Adam Copeland.
There are others as well. I love it when it's like, this person will never work again. They are too crocked. And then, miracles of modern medicine.
Yeah, at least they get the opportunity to, at the very least, go out on their own terms. Like you say, if it's only just that, then I'm sure he will be ecstatic for the way it was received. The reason why I don't think it's just that is A, saying as much, and B, no frosted tips at Wembo. So
This is it.
That's going to be the sign where it's like, okay.
I mean, evidently I'm no expert in getting frosted tips, but I wonder, was there time between his commentary and him coming out to...
I never know.
Frost my tips, Chief.
The Young Bucks had a quick shave, didn't they, during that show? So maybe the bathroom was busy. I don't know. But
who knows?
That'd be funny if he'd done it already in advance, and they'd be like, "You all right? What's the just fancied rolling back the ears a little bit?"
I could have worn a hat. Jim, the sit on commentary.
Alright, Jamiroquai. What are you doing here?
Sit on commentary with a little hat. Is that a little hat? Yeah, that'll do.
I've tried. Right. Does not fit on our heads. I've tried it.
Oh yeah, it's ripped. But all right.
You're right, Nigel.
All right, I'm Nigel McGuinness.
All right.
All right.
What do you reckon to the matches so far?
I am enjoying the wrestling matches.
Cool. Okay. Well,
frosted tips.
Whoa, frosted tips out of nowhere.
Frosted tips.
Yeah, hopefully we get to see him back. You feel like they will do the Danielson match.
They will do the Danielson, and you will click on this video.
Oh, morning news right here.
Boom. Bye.